has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
All right, we're back at the MGM Grand in the Boxing Media Center, getting ready for an incredible Saturday night pay-per-view on Prime Video. Tank against Martin, Benavidez against Vodzik. It's going to be incredible. Order the fights on pay-per-view and get ready for some brawls on Saturday night. I'm with Joe Lisi. He's back in New York. I'm here in Sin City. What do you think so far at Pinehurst, Joe? We got Patrick Cantlay with a 65 in the hizzy with a one-shot lead over Auberg. I kind of liked Auberg going into this thing, believe it or not. He's been playing great golf this year. The Frenchman, Pavon, and then Tony Finau is 3 off the pace with Rory, Hatton, and afternoon nap. Ricky Hatton, I wish he was, got into the Boxing Hall of Fame last weekend with my friend Fred Sternberg. Also, a lot of big names at 1 under, including Sergio Garcia. DeChambeau's at 1 under. What do you think of the Pinehurst number 2 and the start of the U.S. Open?
Well, I mean, usual suspects, I will say. Cantlay, I know, was talked about on the show with a number of different others. Finau was the guy that typically I bet in terms of these majors. I didn't bet him this time, and sure enough, he's in the mix, so I might take a look at him. I will say 2 guys that were deep shots that I was going to bet, Grillo and Harry English, are right there. Last time I checked, they were even and like tied for 18th, so keep an eye out for Grillo. He had a 400 to 1 price. I'm going to take a shot. Top 20, still got great value. And Harry English, I believe, has been playing better. Last time I saw Tiger Woods, he was +4. And Justin Thomas, last time I checked him, he was +7. So not a good start for Woods and Thomas.
Did you ever wear Harry's English leather cologne on a date, Joe, and get lucky?
No.
Did you ever?
No, Harry's English cologne with Musk and Canoe. That's that CVS pharmacy cologne back in the day. Throw a little canoe on your body.
Right, canoe. Hey, what about, did you ever wear Stetson cologne like the guy on the horse in Central Park?
Yes.
There are no guys on horses in Central Park, but did you ever wear Stetson cologne? He's another golfer, our boy.
Yeah.
Did you wear
back
that?
In the day, Stetson cologne. Back in the day, before like, all the good stuff came out, Obsession, Calvin Klein, all the good stuff, right?
I still wear, I have a lot of great colognes, I really do, but I've been noticing, I've gone retro back to the Polo, not the green bottle, but the advanced new. They have new scents. They got sport Polo scents, Ralph Lauren. Right. I like the Ralph Lauren scents. I wear those. In fact, I'm wearing it right now, and I've noticed, and you've probably seen here behind me, a lot of chicks have been swarming around my set. They're like animals.
Like a
they
beehive.
Smell and they get the. Yeah, they get the scent, and then they move in for the kill. There's been a lot of them. There's some right now checking me out right over here off to the side. I wanted to give you an update on some baseball scores today. Real quick going on. Oh, here we go. Screw the baseball. We got Steven Espinoza, the president of Showtime Sports. And, Steven, it's always great to see you. It's different now. I'm doing TV now.
Look at that. Like, you can see your face. Like,
you used to just see me on radio, right?
Absolutely.
Like, it's way more fun, but we're still simulcasting on SiriusXM and on radio affiliates all over the world. It's just that I have to wear a blazer now and a nice shirt.
I don't know if I've seen this.
You remember you saw me as a bum always.
No, not a bum.
Now, how many places have I run into you? I even ran into you in restaurants, on street restaurants. restaurants in Lipstick City.
That's right.
I was eating guacamole, and I see you.
Yeah, that's right. You see you at Super Bowl, and see you at
everywhere.
Yep, absolutely.
I saw you today by the fountain. I said to someone on the show earlier today, I said, I'm just glad I remember everyone. When I said I saw Steven Espinoza, and I said, I'm just glad I didn't screw it up. When you get old, you start forgetting things, forgetting people's names.
Yeah.
Is there anything worse, like in boxing, over the years when you would come to these things and people would go, hey, you remember me? And you're like, I don't remember you at all.
And the worst is, it's like,
it's uncomfortable.
I fought on your network 8 years ago, and then you feel really bad.
You don't remember their name.
That guy literally gave his blood, sweat, and tears.
What has the transition been like for you with Showtime Sports after so many decades of excellence covering boxing? Now, I worked for you forever. Like, I went to every single Showtime fight forever, every one of them.
There was not.
I owe you so much gratitude because,
not at all.
Listen, do you know how much fun you gave me in my life going to all these fights? I started with HBO and Moffitt, and then I went to work for you, and I did every Showtime fight forever. And now I've worked for Bruce and Premier for several years. I hadn't been to a fight since COVID. This is my first one.
That's right.
This is 36 years of me covering boxing.
No, we had so much fun with those Mayweather fights, the big Mayweather. There's nothing else like them.
Right?
There's nothing else like them. So always a pleasure to have you at these fights, brother.
What was it like, how the business changed and evolved, and on the negative end of it? Like, I couldn't believe it when they said that you guys weren't going to have boxing anymore.
And
what was that like for you running it and having that happen?
It was literally a shock. It was a disappointment. It's both surprising and not surprising, because you're in the media business. Has always been an astute observer of the media business. You'd have to be blind to not see all the changes going on. And it's not just streaming. Everybody knows it's moving to streaming, but different financial changes. And I saw it at Paramount, the changes. From that perspective, it wasn't a surprise. Like, everybody in the media business knows they got to look over their shoulder because things are changing. But at the same time, it's still, when it actually happens, it's still shocking. And it's still something all of us went through a period of mourning. There are people here, Sheila, our head of marketing.
Right.
She started, she was there for the entire 37 years of Showtime Boxing, from the Tyson days all the way through Mayweather, Canelo, and Tank. So I was there. I had a great 12-year run. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But there's a lot of 25, 30-year employees where it's literally, it's like losing a loved one.
It is.
That's the relationship. The exciting thing is, like, this is now a startup. I mean, Amazon's not a startup. PBC's not a startup.
Right.
But this configuration is a startup. The first time they're doing combat sports in the U.S. We're building a new production infrastructure from scratch and, getting used to it. And people have been saying, okay, like, when is it going to get to the level of Showtime activity? This is the third event. I would say by this fall, August, September, October, you're going to see a lot of non-pay-per-view fights, pay-per-view fights. There's a lot coming. It just,
So more and more.
Yeah.
So I got on there, and I almost fell over when I got on Prime and on Freevee. My show's on there. It's streaming on everything. Roku, Slang, Fubo, YouTube TV, all of them.
Oh, you got to.
There's tons of them, and it really is incredible watching it evolve. Like, when I started, it was literally 0 homes, and now it's like 200 million homes.
Oh, and you can watch whatever you want. Like, whatever is your thing.
And that's what I do.
Yeah. It is.
Do you do that too?
Oh yeah, exactly. I end up watching stuff. I'm like, why am I watching this Turkish sitcom?
Right, right.
I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know how I found it, but here we are.
It's good. Now listen, are you excited for this card?
You've been around the fight game a lot. When's the last time you saw like two names like Tank and David Benavidez? So first,
and getting along, sharing the spotlight,
right, and not upset. Both of them truly sharing this spot. So the reality is, that's a fantastic thing. I give David a lot of credit. He's a star fighter, no ego.
He's scary.
Yeah, he's saying, look, I'll go. Look, I just want to fight. I want to put on a fight. I'll fight with Tank, before Tank, after Tank. And this is a treat. When you say two of the young stars of boxing on one card, you don't get it that often.
Steven, good to see you, my man. I
You
always
too,
love running into you. Thanks for popping on Ferrall Coast to Coast.
Good to see you. I like the blazer.
Thanks, brother. I'll see you at the fight Saturday.
I know what to get you for Christmas.
I'm telling you, you still look sharp, bro. My man. Thanks, Steven.
crazy how many teams had a chance to win. The Ripper GC went from 9 back to leading by 2 to near the cellar again late in the day. It was so volatile, counting 4 scores. It was pretty nuts, but you know, the cliques have been cellar dwellers for basically 2.5 seasons, and they come out victorious today. That's awesome.
Be the summer of the cliques, definitely. So, like I said, there's definitely more to come from us.
It was a magnificent ball striking performance.
Yeah, you know, I got to speak to someone in his camp before he teed off this morning, and they said to me that he is finally feeling extremely comfortable out here. He's not thinking about any swing thought. He's going out there, he's swinging so freely, and it certainly showed today. The way he drove the ball, the way he hit his irons, and even in his putting as well.
Yeah, and lives in Texas, went to school in Texas. His tour win on the PGA Tour was here in Houston, which is Texas, and now his first live win, Texas.
Honestly, it was just a matter of playing solid coming down the stretch. I think there was a switch there on 15 that I made birdie, he made bogey, and I just knew that I had to power in pretty much, and it was mine. The 18 I made bogey, but it worked. He played unbelievable, and he put pressure all the way to the end, and it was a good battle. I love playing here. Obviously, Texas treats me well. It's my adopted home state, so I'm just happy to get it done again in Houston.
Joe Lisi with me from New York. I'm in Vegas for the Tank and Benavidez fight Saturday night on Prime pay-per-view. Boy, it's interesting to hear Steven Espinoza talk about the changes from Showtime to Prime and how the sport has evolved and how it's changing. I thought that was fascinating. I mean, I thought Showtime did a great job with boxing for all the years that I covered fights for them. I thought Steven did a hell of a job, and now he's doing other things, and it's exciting to see that he's doing well. The Yankees have taken the lead on the Royals in the bottom of the 8th at the K in Kansas City, 3-2. The Cardinals lead the Pirates in the bottom of the 7th at Busch, 4-3. Finals already. The Braves won in Baltimore, 6-3. Detroit 7-2 over Washington. Miller, the winner over Law at Comerica. Everything else is a little bit later, at least West Coast time. So nighttime in the East. Cubs, Rays in Tampa. Miami's at Citi Field against the Mets and Severino. Phillies at Fenway, Nola and Houck. Oakland is in Minneapolis. Funky Cold Medina against Joe Ryan. Angels and Snakes in Arizona. And the White Sox, Seattle in the Pacific Northwest. And Texas and the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine. Joe, what do you think of the Yankees, this tear they've been on, and watching this guy, Judge, hit home runs every single day?
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, they've abused Kansas City, jumped out to an 8-0 lead last night. 2 nights ago, they jumped out in the first inning, 4-0. They're playing very well, especially on the road, and that's what you want to see, right? You don't want to see, if you're a Yankee fan, though, that would happen similarly to Atlanta last year, where you dominate the regular season and then you knock out first round of the playoffs. So I love the way the lineup's playing right now. Pitching hasn't had to do a lot because they're outscoring opponents, but that lineup is ridiculous right now. I mean, Stanton, Judge, Soto, they're scoring runs at a premium, and they're beating up on Kansas City, and they continue to do it. We'll see how it plays out, but they're going to be there, Scotty. I mean, barring an implosion over the second half of the season.
Did you see? I saw something today. Like my son rolled over once after I'd already been out. So I got up at 7 in the morning. I went to bed at 4. I got up at 7. I'm out doing things. I come back, and he's sleeping. He says to me, he was reading an article saying Soto, like there's a rumor of a possible 15-year deal for over $500 million. Are you buying any of that?
Oh, he's young enough, right? The problem is, and we talk about this with multiple players, is that when you sign these guys to 10 or 15-year deals, you have to expect that at the tail end, whether it be year number 9, year number 13, or maybe even sooner, 11 or 12, that these guys are going to tail off in terms of productivity. We saw it with Pujols, we saw it with Bonilla, we saw it with all the greats that got these huge contracts. If you're willing to, take that type of risk to get Soto in a uniform in the Bronx for, 8+ years, then it's a benefit.
Did you see Rizzo hit a home run today? I almost fell over. He hasn't had a hit in 2 months.
Yeah, that's because last night when I needed him to come through with bases, I believe, bases loaded, he grounded out or popped out. So we would figure that tonight he comes through with a home run. So unbelievable. He's so inconsistent, he's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, that's called being old and washed.
But he's not that old.
I think he's finished.
I know, but
yeah,
Rizzo,
he is.
I mean,
His body is.
His body is, right. That's what it is. His body's like a 50-year-old.
His body's shot.
Well,
they got all these guys. Like, I got to be honest with you. I'm stunned at what Stanton has done with 16 homers because I went to a game last year. I call it the 310 to Yuma. I spent $1,000 in 3 hours and 10 minutes at Yankee Stadium. Right. And I watched him hit 197, and I'm like going, they're paying this guy more money than God, and he's hitting 197. It's embarrassing. So, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I agree.
So can we get him? Can we get him? I just want to say I'm doing this live on the air. I don't even care because that's how rogue I am. We'll get him on. Leonard, don't go anywhere. My man Leonard Ellerby is going to come on with us in a couple minutes. And I got you, bro. I got you. I want the whole segment with you, not the end of this one. Don't go anywhere, Romeo. So this guy's a character, honestly. Leonard's way more fun than Floyd. Floyd used to be fun and cool and my boy, but Leonard passed him a long time ago at being cool. Now Floyd could just get me into his really good strip clubs. Are we on the air right now? We are. Don't talk about strip clubs during the broadcast.
Don't talk about it. That's it.
By the way, tomorrow we're going to have Jim Lampley on for a double shot segment, the legendary boxing and sportscaster, one of a kind Jim. I haven't seen him in a long time, and I'm looking forward to that. Plus, as I mentioned, Bruce Benkow, who runs Premier Boxing for Al Heyman, he's going to come on. When I saw him today, the first thing he said to me was, is that you're fat and you have a mohawk. What is happening here? That's what he said to me. You're fat and you have a mohawk. What is happening here? I said, I'm lucky to be alive, Bruce, because Bruce is my boy. So I always have fun with all these people here. And then even Cardano told me I was fat. You know, it's unbelievable, Joe. You know, I have heart surgery and I get...
I know.
Come on, Joe. You work out. You're a fiend on the weights. You look ripped. You have zero body fat. You're benching 350. You're working on lats, biceps, triceps, back, chest, leg day. And then you're telling me you're fat. You're a liar. You barely eat. He eats salads. He has a glass of Chianti. He goes on multiple dates. Don't believe a word coming out of the mouth of Joey Prance. He's always playing like he's fat. Meanwhile, he's perfect. Perfect teeth, perfect hair, the best sport coats. I can't even compete with this guy anymore ever since I became a tub of lard. It's okay, though. I'm old. I'm allowed to be fat and drunk.
crazy how many teams had a chance to win. The Ripper GC went from 9 back to leading by 2 to near the cellar again late in the day. It was so volatile, counting 4 scores. It was pretty nuts, but you know, the cliques have been cellar dwellers for basically 2.5 seasons, and they come out victorious today. That's awesome.
To be the summer of the cliques, definitely. So, like I said, there's definitely more to come from us.
It was a magnificent ball striking performance.
Yeah, you know, I got to speak to someone in his camp before he teed off this morning, and they said to me that he is finally feeling extremely comfortable out here. He's not thinking about any swing thought. He's going out there, he's swinging so freely, and it certainly showed today. The way he drove the ball, the way he hit his irons, and even in his putting as well.
Yeah, and lives in Texas, went to school in Texas. His tour win on the PGA Tour was here in Houston, which is Texas, and now his first live win, Texas.
Honestly, it was just a matter of playing solid coming down the stretch. I think there was a switch there on 15 that I made birdie, he made bogey, and I just knew that I had to power in pretty much, and it was mine. The 18 I made bogey, but it worked. He played unbelievable, and he put pressure all the way to the end, and it was a good battle. I love playing here. Obviously, Texas treats me well. It's my adopted home state, so I'm just happy to get it done again in Houston.
All right, how cool is this? My dear friend Leonard Ellerby of Mayweather Promotions, the CEO. I said earlier, they heard me, you didn't. I'm going to repeat it. You and I go back a long time. You're a badass, one of my favorite all-time people in boxing, bar none. And I said right on the air 5 minutes ago that you passed Floyd a long time ago at being cool. Like, Floyd don't come around no more. You still come around, and you're like normal, real dude. Like my cat, my guy, my man. I don't know where Floyd is. I know he can show me a good time late at night. But when it comes to boxing circles, and I see you at Super Bowl, I see you, you're everywhere. You're omnipresent. And Floyd's kind of void for me. I don't see him anymore. That bothers me. So you passed him a long time ago.
Well, thank you, Scotty. Really appreciate that. You my guy, too.
It's good to see you.
Likewise.
So what do you think of this event? You know, I haven't been back since COVID. 36 years of covering boxing. This is my first card I've been to since COVID. I thought it really hurt boxing when they stopped having fans and media at the fights. I thought it sucked.
It did, and thank God that we passed that. And this Saturday night,
it's live. It's live.
It's the biggest event of the year.
It is.
Headlined by Gervonta Tank Davis, taking on Frank Martin.
He's the new Floyd.
Without a doubt, he's definitely the face of boxing.
You know what I think you did with him, which I thought was cool, is that, and by the way, I brought my son to the fight, so I'll introduce him to you Saturday. Cool. He goes to San Diego State. He's jive. He's cool kid. And I used to take him to fights when he was a little kid at the Garden. Oh, wow. And he hasn't been to a fight in Vegas, so Saturday will be his first fight.
And he's coming to, again,
a great fight. So here's what I want to say to you. So the thing about Tank that I like what you guys did with him is that he was so accessible as a fighter. He used to show up for other dudes' fights and be cool to people, to the media, to the fans. His availability. He liked talking boxing with anyone and everyone that wanted to talk boxing. He didn't care if it was a camera, a microphone, a fan, a freak, like a bum. He didn't care who it was. He was always just there for people and boxing, and I think it made him real instead of being a prima donna, unapproachable, a D. A guy, this pain in the ass. You know, is there anything worse? And you know what happens? They get all this money, and it changes these cats. I don't think it changed him. I think being around you and being around Floyd made him a happening dude.
Well, he has a great internal team with Coach Calvin, Coach Kenny, and all the guys that are on his immediate team. And they've been a close family. So he stays close to his circle of people, and he has a lot of mature people that's in his circle. And so I'm so proud of where he's at in his life. Forget the boxing part, where he's at in his life. He's experienced some difficult things.
He's had a few issues when you're dumb and young, and I was young and dumb.
He's overcome that. He's learned from his mistakes, and the sky's the limit, and the path that he's on.
He got some nice breaks out of having problems. He didn't have to do any bad time or have any real issues. He got to get through it mentally and not screw up his career. I've never seen a little dude like that. Now, I think Floyd was a little dude that could box like no other and move like no other, and the hands and his counterpunching was like no other. But this mother Ferrall, he knocks people out.
Yes, he does.
For a little dude, he knocks dudes out. He got a nasty punch.
And that's exactly why the fans, they tune in and
they love him,
and they always flood the gates to come to watch him.
So he's a money maker.
Yes. He's the guy, the most exciting fighter in the entire world. And that's what the fans really love about him.
Leonard, your beard is so fantastic now. You look so good. But how do I ever live up to it? Because I got the goat going, but I don't know if you know what I mean. Like I'm just shy of your. You look better than me. I'm shy of that. I'm falling short. What do I got to do? I thought I was cool until you always
cool,
walk
Scotty.
in the room and make me look weak. You know what I mean?
Cool. Always cool.
So, you know what? I love this guy Benavidez too. He's a violent offender. My man, a monster. I'm scared to death of him.
He's a straight killer.
I'm scared to interview him.
Yeah, he's one of the top fighters in the entire sport. And when I talk about Tank being the most exciting fighter in the sport, Benavidez is right behind
I think it's great that they're sharing the spotlight and being cool with it, and being cool with one another and putting on the show. I think they're doing a great job. Leonard, I love you. It's good to see you. Say hi to Floyd for me. All the best. Health and happiness. I'll see you Saturday. I want to introduce you to my son.
Almost definitely.
My man.
Order right now.
Look at the stats. 5 out of the top 6 televised rated games on the WNBA this year all involve Caitlin Clark. The only one that doesn't was a second half of a doubleheader in which Caitlin Clark played the first game.
Only on SportsGrid.
You're going a little deep bomb hunting here. We don't care that we have the one heavy favorite with Rory, a couple other guys like Fleetwood and Tagala, etc. You're going to go a little deeper down the board.
This course, I think, is going to play a little bit more to the wedges. They have, what they did is they've renovated it to basically block off some of the bombing alleys for these guys. They've narrowed the fairways.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back too. I guess this, look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The brighter the lights, the bigger the stakes. Hunt or be hunted. Know your prey. This is a whole new jungle. This is The Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM.
All right, I told you about the BetMGM first 1,500 offer. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened in the world, bar none. And it's easy. Download the BetMGM mobile app on iOS or Android. Open an account, put 10 in, your Gandhi. Then place your first bet. Now, look, you could bet on Tank Davis Saturday night, $1,500. Bet on Tank. And if that fails, if that wager loses, let's say he doesn't knock out Frank Martin, and you bet him to knock out Frank Martin, you lose the bet. Once the wager is settled and you've lost the bet, they're making you a winner anyway because they're putting $1,500 in bonus bets in your account, which really is ridiculous when you think about it. It's crazy. It's the first bet 1,500 from BetMGM. Theirs is the best. Theirs is the biggest. All the other sports books pale in comparison. If you notice they're short, they're like $1,000 or $750 or a broke ass $200. You'll give you a first bet for $100. None of that candy ass stuff right here at BetMGM. We're 1,500 clean bonus bets in your account. That's why they're top shelf status. Know that. Coach Young joins us. Of course, the one and only James Young. He's got a lot going on. You see him on the grid. You see him on Coast to Coast. He's coaching all the best D1 kids all over the East Coast, up and down, particularly if you're from New Jersey. If you're from Connecticut or New York, he silently doesn't like you, and he lies to your parents. If you're from New Jersey, he might even buy you a sandwich after practice. He loves kids from New Jersey. It's true, Coach. You know it's true.
Hey, listen, shout out to another one of my kids. I'll say her name. I won't say the school. Caroline Holloway just got her first D1 offer today, a couple of days ago. So shout out to all my bigs getting it done in the Garden State.
Well, I got to get your reaction to the game last night. I talked to Joe about it, but I didn't hear your opinion of it because I was flying to Vegas and I missed it. All I saw was highlights late night in the casino when I got here. I didn't see it live. I have said already today, I think the NBA Finals have been pathetic. Not for the Celtics. I think the Celtics have played great basketball, but I think the Dallas Mavericks have been pathetic, and you can quote me on that.
Well, listen, Ferrall, early on in the game, and I talked about it with Carver High, that Kyrie Irving needed to get off to a big start, and he did. He obviously played extremely well, and they were fine through the first half, but you can't be a team down 2-0 and turn around on your home floor and allow a team to shoot 65% from the floor in the third quarter and basically take a lead and then get outscored by 16. That's poor adjustments. That's a team not ready to play in the second half. Now, another thing, Ferrall, that's been very honest is the fact that Boston is destroying Dallas at the three-point line. Here we go again, folks. Last night, 17 makes for Boston, 9 for, obviously, the Mavericks. That is a 24-point win. You can't lose games, Ferrall, at the three-point line. And last, and I heard you talking about with Joe Lisi. I want people to understand this. I don't care if it was a block or a charge. You don't put yourself in that position. It is too much of a high risk. Actually, I would say, low reward, high risk. What is the worst that's going to happen?
Right.
They blow by the basket, they score. You're still in the game. You fought your way back to get back into the game. And this is the problem with Luka. It's not just that. It's the turn to the bench and tell him to throw the bleeping, challenge. It's this press conference. Listen, folks, Luka Doncic is a dynamic basketball player. He is one of the most talented offensive guards that has come through this league in 30, 40 years. But the crybaby stuff has got to stop. The lack of defense, getting lost in rotations, it's got to stop. I will say this. He is a top 5 talent in the world. But in the finals and what he's done defensively, forget the offense. He has been piss poor, and that is one of the reasons, not the main reason, one of the reasons his defense is why they're down 3 games to none.
Why, this is no different than you and I on betting above the rim. We've been saying it for months. I've had mental breakdowns. You've had to check my pulse. I've had strokes, mini strokes. I've had to go for therapy over my, incessant, objection to this guy's behavior. Like I have said to you 5 million times, I cannot believe a guy that brilliant of a player, of a talent, of a handle, of a scorer, of a, creativity-wise type, disher. I've never seen anyone with that kind of talent waste his time crying so much. I mean, he's crying before games, during games, after games, press conferences. Last night he flipped out and fouled out of the game. He cost his team. I have to ask you a question. You're literally going to have to sit on Saturday and Sunday, both days, with that fascist Celtic fan, Adam Kaufman, and you're going to have to put up with Foster's Lager, another backstabber, and you know that these two are going to gang up on you. It's like it's not even going to be fair. I'm not even going to be there with all my swords and guns. How am I going to protect you against these two ganging up on you on Saturday and Sunday with me being in Vegas? It's not even right.
Ferrall, I'm hoping I get some 48-hour flu tomorrow, because I can't tell Coronado and Sus that I'm not coming on Saturday and Sunday, because I can't do it. And that's the thing. Like, and here's the thing. It's like, I want Dallas to win, one, because I want this finals to go on, because we need competitive basketball. But if I have to listen to 4 hours of coronation of the Boston Celtics, I'm going to need a barf bucket.
Oh, count
That's
on
how tough it's going to be.
Count on it. I mean, I feel horrible for you. I'm actually worried about you. I mean, honestly, you should have, like, I don't know, maybe you get your daughter to have another recital. Last-minute recital. All right, I know you got some WNBA Lions share plays for me today. I think there's a trio of games tonight in the dub.
This one is a big number, and it's Caitlin Clark to make over 2.5 made threes. It's minus 500. So what I may do is, if you can find it live, go do it. Otherwise, I would start to look for it at a higher number. Caitlin Clark, listen, this team, the Indiana Fever, playing a little bit better. Caitlin Clark, playing against Atlanta Dream, has given up the 9th most attempts in the WNBA. They give up a ton of three-point attempts. Caitlin Clark should go absolutely nuclear. I would take a look at Caitlin Clark to go over her three-point prop tonight.
Wow, awesome. And now what else? You got Storm Wings, Aces Mercury. I know that Fever game's in Indianapolis. What do you got on the other ones? You got a little Cooper action for me tonight, a little Copper.
Oh yeah, we're going to Copper Canyon, aka walking bucket, over 21.5 points. Now listen, Ferrall, she averages 24 points a game. Now people are looking at the fact that her usage rate is down because Brittany Griner is back, but they are playing better. She's gone over the last 2 games, high pace. I think she goes over 21.5 points.
And what is the deal with the Aces? What is wrong with the champs, the 2-time champs? You know, I bet on them. You were with me on the air the other day when I took LA in the 10.5, and I covered.
Yeah, and real quick, the Caitlin Clark over 2.5 made threes is minus 150. Just that was a little bit of a typo right there. But when you look at the Mercury, plus the points, Ferrall, the reason why the Aces are struggling, very simply put, Chelsea Gray's now back. That's her defensive anchor in the backcourt. And folks, they're missing Candace Parker's leadership and rebounding as a 4. She's one of the best rebounders and defenders of all time. They're not playing well. The Mercury are playing better. I'm taking the Mercury plus the points.
Coach, I wish you were here. I got a lot of tail chasing me around the MGM. I can barely get to my room. I can barely get to the boxing media center. I got so many chicks chasing me. Looking this clean and tight, son.
The Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM.
Look at the stats. 5 out of the top 6 televised rated games on the WNBA this year all involve Caitlin Clark. The only one that doesn't was a second half of a doubleheader in which Caitlin Clark played the first game.
Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, "Look, don't come back." I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Wow, look who it is, the monster, my man. I got to tell you, David Benavidez, I've been covering boxing here at the MGM at the Grand Garden Arena for over 36 years. You're one of the baddest mothers I've seen fight. I like watching you knock people out. I like watching you hurt people. I like your game. I like your hands. I think this guy, this Ukrainian Vadzik, he's going to have a rough evening. I think it's really cool what you're doing with Tank, that you're actually working together to sell an event this big. Are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I strictly did this for the fans. I had an option to do a pay-per-view by myself, but I said, you know what? The fans deserve it, and let's get 2 of the biggest punches on PBC. Let's put it in one card, and, Tank, he agreed to this, and this is a treat for the fans, you know what I mean? And this is not only is a co-main event and the main event good, but the whole card is stacked and on fire. And, I know I got tough competition, but I'm looking to steal the show this Saturday.
He means business. He can definitely fight. I have to tell you, you don't see guys in boxing anymore sharing the limelight. Guys with egos, prima donnas, money, promoters. Guys could be Ds. I think it's cool that you guys got together, and it makes you look classy.
Yeah.
2 fighters that are as big as both of you are doing this, I think is a really powerful move for you in your career, instead of being just like everybody else and, trying to hog up the spotlight. I got to be honest with you, dude.
Yeah, and like I said, bro, this is only, it does good for the sport. And the sport, this is great for the sport of boxing. And like you said it, bro, a lot of the time ego gets in the way of this. But me, I don't care about none of that, man. I just want to give the best fights, the best show we could possibly give them, and thank God we're able to make this happen.
What's it like going up in weight for you?
Oh, amazing, bro. This has been the easiest weight cut I've ever had in my life, and I was already a hitter at 168, so now I don't got to lose weight. I'm going to be that much more of a hitter, and I'm very excited, very ready to make this happen.
What about him? He's had big fights. I mean, you're not stupid. You had to understand who you're dealing with here. What worries you about him? Obviously, you should be concerned always, whoever you fight, that something could happen. What are you dealing with here on Saturday?
You got to take fear out of the equation. I don't fear this man at all, but I'm prepared for him. I know his strengths. I know his weaknesses. I actually sparred him when I was 22 years old.
I know that.
I got the better of him, but I'm not I'm not stupid and making it seem like I don't got to work hard because I almost, knocked him out in sparring. I know he's a tough fighter. That's why I prepared extremely well for him. But this is what I want. I want the big challenges because I know once I get in the big challenges, the best comes out of me and I shine in the bright light.
So you, fight anyone, all comers, the best fighters. And I know you get sick and tired of hearing about it, but honestly, when you're one of the greatest fighters in the world, it has been amazing to me to see how Canelo don't want no part of you. That has to make you feel good to know he don't want no part of losing to you.
And that does make
That's
me
what
feel
that's
good.
about.
That's why every time I don't get tired of people asking me about it because every time somebody asks me about this, the fight gets bigger, bigger, and bigger. But that man knows that once he gets me in front of him, I'm going to take all his belts.
There's going to be a lot of money to be made.
I don't care about the money. I care
do.
about the belts. I always said that once you do your job correct, the money follows on
It's automatic.
Yeah.
How has your rise to stardom been for you? Has it been a trip?
It's been a trip, bro, yeah, but it's been a long time coming. Like I said, this is my 10th year professional.
Right.
And I've just been enjoying everything. I enjoy all the love I get from the fans. I enjoy the hard fights. I enjoy the press conference. I enjoy all this.
They love you in the Valley.
Yeah.
Are your fans hardcore there?
Oh, yeah. I got that's the other thing, too. I got the toughest fans in the world. My fans, if you're going against me, my fans are going to beat all you guys up. So be careful with my fans.
So what about your corner and the guys that are working with you every day to make you the best?
Yeah, so a shout out to my team, too. These guys, it's not me. I always say it's a collective effort from the group. My strength and conditioning trainers, my dad's assistant trainers, my security guards, everybody. I'm just very grateful to have them in my team, and that's why I'm able to shine, because we all do it together.
When you came up and you started fighting and you saw guys doing these big media center events, I've been at every big fight ever. When you saw it and you were a kid and you saw it, did you used to say, that's going to be me one day? I'm going to be in that room, running that room.
Yeah, so also big shout out to my brother Jose Benavidez because of him, I've seen all this. I got to see it firsthand.
You knew what you were doing.
I would come to press conferences. I came to press conferences here with him when he was fighting. So that kind of let me visualize it in my head, put myself in that position, and prepared me very well for that. And now we're here.
Tank was always really accessible to everyone, fans, media. He loves talking boxing. I think you do it as well. I think it's good for you, believe it or not, from an old guy telling you that when you do that and you make yourself available to the media, to the press, to the fans, to everyday people, it makes you look fantastic instead of being a guy that won't show up for this and won't do interviews and is a pain in the ass. There's nothing worse for a fighter.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it enough to deal with it and not be a pain in your ass?
No, I also do it. I enjoy it, and not only do I come here with a mean face, I come here with a happy face, because you guys are the ones getting the story out. So we got to give the respect to you guys, and all of this is a part of the job. I love being around people, conversating with people, and talking boxing. Like I said, this is part of the job. You guys don't have to be here, but you guys come because you guys want to support.
Because we love it. How about this being the 100th anniversary fight at the Grand Garden Arena? It's a great boxing. I've been at all of them. What's it like to be part of this historic weekend?
Oh, it's a dream come true. Honestly, I remember coming to the MGM to see Pacquiao's fights, and now I'm part of the 100th championship fight.
Can you believe he wants to fight Barrios?
I think
is he crazy?
He might win.
He might win.
It's all-time great, bro. It's all-time great. Pacquiao. And fun fact, me and Pacquiao had the same birthday.
Is that right?
Yeah, so, I definitely want to do that. That's the type of fighter I want to be. I want to be a savage fighter just like Pacquiao.
Well, you are. I got to tell you, like I said when you first sat down, bro, you're a lot of fun to watch fight. You mean business. I tell people all the time, I'm taking my son to the fight tomorrow night, and it's his first big fight in Vegas. He's 19. He goes to San Diego State. I said, son, you're going to go see the monster.
This is a perfect fight to take him to.
You're going to see Tank and the monster fight. Hey, listen, it's a real pleasure to meet, man. God bless. All the best. And good luck Saturday night. Not that you need it.
Thank you.
Keep doing your thing, bro. I can't wait to see you just keep getting bigger and better.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
My man, David Benavidez. It doesn't get any better than the monster. Get the pay-per-view Saturday night on Prime. Everybody's doing it. They just won't admit it. My man, I love you.
crazy how many teams had a chance to win. The Ripper GC went from 9 back to leading by 2 to near the cellar again late in the day. It was so volatile, counting 4 scores. It was pretty nuts, but you know, the cliques have been cellar dwellers for basically 2.5 seasons, and they come out victorious today. That's awesome.
Be the summer of the cliques, definitely. So, like I said, there's definitely more to come from us.
It was a magnificent ball striking performance.
Yeah, you know, I got to speak to someone in his camp before he teed off this morning, and they said to me that he is finally feeling extremely comfortable out here. He's not thinking about any swing thought. He's going out there, he's swinging so freely, and it certainly showed today. The way he drove the ball, the way he hit his irons, and even in his putting as well.
Yeah, and lives in Texas, went to school in Texas. His tour win on the PGA Tour was here in Houston, which is Texas, and now his first live win, Texas.
Honestly, it was just a matter of playing solid coming down the stretch. I think there was a good switch there on 15 that I made birdie, he made bogey, and I just knew that I had to power in pretty much, and it was mine. The 18 I made bogey, but it worked. He played unbelievable, and he put pressure all the way to the end, and it was a good battle. I love playing here. Obviously, Texas treats me well. It's my adopted home state, so I'm just happy to get it done again in Houston.
Yeah, I want to know how many you've done as well, Jim Gray. So you got our legendary good friend and great broadcaster, one of the best sportscasters of all time, Jim Gray, with us here in Vegas at the MGM Grand. And it is the 100th anniversary. And I was just thinking, and I said this to pretty much everyone today that came through here, I've been doing this for 36 years at this sport, at this place. I've seen a lot of those 100 fights. So have you. It really is amazing when you think about it. It's a cool weekend for the anniversary.
It's great. I mean, you know, we've had so many legendary events. And they used to have there was the guy who used to run the venue, and he would take the stool from the great fights. So he had a stool in there from Holyfield.
Right.
And he had a stool in there from Chavez, and he had a stool in there from Tyson. And then on the bottom of it would mark, and that would be the stool that those guys sat on. And then he left about 4 or 5 years ago, and he took all the stools.
Did he?
You know, it was his idea. But it was always so cool to walk through his office because he had about 30 of them from the great fights and the things that have taken place here. And I remember Kurt Kerkorian, who, you know, used to come to the fights.
Yeah.
And he would take care of all of us. And you know, we had those big events and the ear biting and so on and so forth.
Right.
All took place in this building. And we went upstairs one night afterwards to have dinner. And Kurt came in and took care of dinner. And I said, Kurt, that's really nice. And he said something that was just the most gracious thing that I'd ever heard. He said, you guys who've done all this here, you've done a heck of a lot more for us than we could ever do for you.
It's true.
And I just thought about the grace of a multi-billionaire who created, he had the movie studio, he had the building here, he, you know, was such a vibrant, you know, big-time guy, just, you know, somebody who you could really be attracted to and look up to for his business acumen and for the way that he behaved. And he walked in by himself ever with no security.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I just had an affinity for this place because you knew that the guy on top knew who you were, was paying attention, and had appreciation.
How much do you, you know, compare all the great things you've done in your career broadcasting with boxing? How much do you like the boxing end of it when you look back at everything?
Well, my first interview was with Muhammad Ali when I was 17 years old.
Can't beat that.
And it was by total accident. I was a videotape editor, and just through the quirk of fate, nobody else was there, and he arrived 2.5 hours early for the interview, so they had me do it.
What did you do? Almost fall over?
Right. So, and Ali was great, gave me 45 minutes, and the head of the ABC Bureau came in to watch the tape,
because he wanted to see Ali, and he spent an hour and a half in my little edit booth because he was mesmerized by Ali, and I'll never forget what he said. He said, "You and this videotape are going on the air. It's barely adequate." So I tell everybody I've been barely adequate ever since.
Yeah, you've certainly been more than adequate. Who have been your favorite fighters through the years? I was talking about Thomas Hearns and Hagler, and I remember doing fights with you even in L.A. when we did the Fury. I think it was the first Fury fight with Wilder. Who are your favorite fighters that were, accessible and that were nice to you and that were understood your end of the business, that you had to do your job too and sell the fight and talk about the fight?
I loved Ali. He was great. Gave me an opportunity. Got to travel with him for many, many years after that. I loved Marvin Hagler.
Me too.
Marvin Hagler was just a really good, decent, genuine guy. Tommy Hearns was terrific too.
Awesome.
Very, very fond. I loved, Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
We have a very special relationship. He's been great. There have been a lot of these fighters who I've really, had a tremendous affinity for. I like Roberto Duran.
Yeah, he was great.
He's always fun to be around. Diego Corrales, after that great fight, best fight I ever did was Castillo Corrales. That wasn't here. It was over at Mandalay Bay, and there was only 5,800 people there. But, what he said after that fight just touched me in a way. I asked him to describe that fight that he won, which was incredible. He said this fight was an honor.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I just want to ask you one last question. Respectfully, I'm short. I got 30 seconds. What do you think of your boy Tom Brady going to do NFL now? How do you think he'll do? Terrific?
He's going to be great. He's going to be great. I mean, he has more football in his head than anybody. He's won 7 Super Bowls. Played for 23 years.
How are you going to replace him on Westwood One? You got any good ideas?
Westwood One. We're on Sirius XM.
Oh, well, they're both great. So are we. We're on there right now on 159.
He's going to do great on Fox.
Yeah.
Fox, look, there's a learning curve, but he studies hard. He's been preparing. He's going to have great tutelage and great producers with him. Richie Zients, Rich Russo, Eric Shanks. Kevin Burkhart's going to be a terrific partner. Tom's going to be great. You watch.
Jim, good to see you. It's always a pleasure, my man.
Nice to be with you,
Thank you, brother. Jim Gray, everybody.
Look at the stats. 5 out of the top 6 televised rated games on the WNBA this year all involve Caitlin Clark. The only one that doesn't was a second half of a doubleheader in which Caitlin Clark played the first game.
Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back too. I guess look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.